Chapter 47, Erechtheus and Eumolpus. Let's see. Bang. There we go. King Padion died prematurely of grief when he learned what had befallen Procene, Philomela, and Itius. His twin son shared the inheritance, Erechtheus becoming king of Athens, while Bootes served as priest both to Athene and Poseidon. B. By his wife Praxithea, Erechtheus had 4 sons, among them his successor Cecrops, also 7 daughters named Protogonia, Pandora, Prosinus, wife of Celephus, Creusa, Orathea, Chithonia, who married her uncle Bootes, and Atonia, the youngest. C. Now Poseidon secretly loved Chione, Orathea's daughter, by Boreas. She bore him a son, Eumolpus, but threw him into the sea, lest Boreas should be angry. Poseidon watched over Eumolpus and cast him up on the shores of Ethiopia, where he was reared in the house of Bentheisiae, his half-sister by the sea goddess Aphrodite. When Eumolpus came of age, Bentheisiae married him to one of her daughters, but he fell in love with another of them, and she therefore banished them to Thrace, where he plotted against his protector, King Tigurius, and was forced to seek refuge at Eleusis. Eleusis? Yeah. Here he mended his ways and became priest of the mysteries of Demeter and Persephone, into which he subsequently initiated Hercules, at the same time teaching him to sing and play the lyre. With the lyre, Eumolpus had great skill and was also victorious in the flute contest at Pallas's funeral games. His Elysian co-priestesses were the daughters of Celis, and his well-known piety at last earned him the dying forgiveness of King Tigurius, who bequeathed him the throne of Thrace. D. When war broke out between Athens and Eleusis, Eumolpus brought a large force of Thracians to the Eleusinians' assistance, claiming the throne of Attica himself in the name of his father Poseidon. The Athenians were greatly alarmed, and when Erechtheus consulted an oracle, he was told to sacrifice his youngest daughter, Atonia, to Athene if he hoped for victory. Atonia was willingly led to the altar, whereupon her 2 eldest sisters, Potagonia, and Pandora, also killed themselves, having once vowed that if one of them should die by violence, they would die too. E. In the ensuing battle, Ion led the Athenians to victory, and Erechtheus struck down Eumolpus as he fled. Poseidon appealed for vengeance to his brother Zeus, who at once destroyed Erechtheus with a thunderbolt, but some say that Poseidon fell to him with a trident blow at Macra, where the earth opened to receive him. F. By the terms of a peace then concluded, the Eleusinians became subject to the Athenians in everything, except the control of their mysteries. Eumolpus was succeeded as a priest by his younger son, Syrinx, whose descendants still enjoy great hereditary privileges at Eleusis. Ion reigned after Erechtheus, and because of his 3 daughters, self-sacrifice, wineless libations are still poured to them today. 1. Footers 1. The myth of Erechtheus and Eumolpus concerns the subjugation of Eleusis by Athens and the Thraco-Libyan origin of the Eleusinian mysteries. An Athenian cult of the orgiastic bee nymph of midsummer also enters into the story. Since Bootes is associated in Greek with a bee cult on Mount Eryx and his twin brother Erechtheus, he who hastens over the heather rather than Shatterer is the husband of the active goddess and bee queen, or queen bee. The name of King Tigerius of Thrace, whose kingdom Erechtheus's great-grandson inherited, makes a further association with bees. It means beehive cover. Athens was famous for its honey. 2. Erechtheus's 3 noble daughters, like the 3 daughters of his ancestor Cecrops, are the Pelasgian triple goddess to whom libations were poured on solemn occasions. Autonia, with the ear flaps, who is said to have been chosen as a sacrifice to Athene, being evidently the owl goddess Athene herself. Protogonia, the Creatix Eurynomy, and Pandora, the earth goddess Rhea. What now? Athene, being evidently the owl goddess, Athene herself. Protogonia, the Creatix Eurynomy, and Pandora, the earth goddess Rhea. Period. At the transition from matriarchy to patriarchy, some of Athene's priestesses may have been sacrificed to Poseidon. 3. Poseidon's trident and Zeus's thunderbolt were originally the same weapon, the sacred Labrys, a double axe, but distinguished from each other when Poseidon became god of the sea and Zeus claimed the sole right to the thunderbolt. 4. Bootes, who was enthralled among the Argonauts, did not really belong to Erectithede family, but his descendants, the Butides, of Athens, forced their way into Athenian society. By the 6th century, held the priesthoods of Athene Polius and of Poseidon Erechtheus, but was a fusion of the Hellenic Poseidon with the old Pelaglisio hero. As a family inheritance, Pausanias, take that out, and seem to have altered the myth accordingly, as they also altered the Theseus myth. They combined the Attic Bootes with their ancestor, the Thracian son of Boreas, who had colonized Naxos and in a raid on Thessaly violated Coronus, the Lapith princess Diodorus Siculus. Sorry, some of that, yeah, whatever. I haven't read this in a while. It's good. I'm debating because I usually pick the pictures for these readings before I read it. Makes it kind of fun because I know nothing about the reading I'm getting ready to do. So I kind of like look at the name and then look up a picture and I'm like, it might have something to do with it. But I'm thinking from now on, I'm going to read this, add the picture, but you guys won't really notice that. So I'm just thinking.